Next up are information items. The 2024-25 Compensation and Benefits Plan Update. Dr. Rupp.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. So, we've been talking, we started in January and all throughout the spring about our budget situation and what that could mean for compensation and benefits. I'm going to recap some of those conversations that we've had and bring that all to a close this evening. So I want to revisit the context that we've discussed throughout work sessions and regular meetings, that we are facing a forecasted $8.4 million deficit for fiscal year 25. 25% of expenditures is what's needed for our fund balance. That would be approximately $128 million, as Mr. Rayer has reported to you all on. Our fund balance currently is at approximately $132 million, and we have decreased our fund balance since fiscal year 21, over $37 million. And we're definitely at a point where we cannot take any more funds from fund balance to pay for compensation increases. There's an action item later in the agenda after a discussion with you all with a resolution for you all to be able to vote on, where it gives the wording of considering a 1% of a midpoint raise and or a $500 one-time payment, and that you all would be able to pass the resolution this evening, giving you the flexibility to revisit this idea about compensation later in the fall after you see how fiscal year 24 concludes. We understand that that means at this time for staff that there is not any raises, and we also understand that with health insurance costs going up, that's going to cause staff to see their paycheck decrease potentially. So what we would do is record a video that would go out to staff this week to update them based on action taken this evening about what this means, and for you to give you all time to look and see how fiscal year 24 closes. In the past, staff have been able to see healthcare insurance increases mitigated because of midpoint raises. And I would just like to remind that we provide a very competitive contribution to health insurance costs for our area. We understand that this is very hard news for staff to take, and we have been working to keep them updated all along. I know that as they see decisions that are made in surrounding districts, that also creates questions. And, I'm on phone calls with superintendents regularly, and the bottom line is that many of our neighboring districts are dipping into their fund balance in order to pass raises, or they're aggressively closing schools or using all of their staffing reductions. So the bottom line of that story is the way that people are having to fund raises due to no action from the legislature is by finding some amount of cuts, school closures, or fund balance in order to make that happen in the majority of cases. So our focus for recruitment and retention of staff, one of the things we've been working on is the top 10 reasons to work in Lewisville ISD, because we know that compensation is one aspect of why people come here, but it's not the only aspect of why people come here, and we know it's also not the only reason that people stay here when they come here. And so I've got the top 10 on the list there, just to sum up that it talks about the power of our professional learning and growth. One of the examples we give is many of our district leaders started in LISD as teachers, and that we invest in our people. We have robust safety and security procedures. We have stipends for hard-to-fill areas. Again, I mentioned the high dollar contribution to healthcare insurance. We have embedded time to work on grading and lesson planning. We have great community support, as evidenced by the bonds and the VADR that were passed. We have a strong school board who works to support our entire school district, and we're so thankful for the support that you all provide. We've been named to Forbes Best Places to Work in 2 different ways. We obtain feedback and input from our staff 3 times a year, and 85% of our staff would recommend our school district as a place to work. And we are proud of our feeder patterns that build community and a pipeline of students for high school programs. And while there are many more than just those reasons, that's a great top 10 of why people come here, stay here, and want to be a part of Lewisville ISD. We're also looking at some non-compensation enhancements for next school year. So we are bringing forward a business casual dress code that would allow all staff across the district to wear jeans any day of the week. Jeans is probably the number one non-compensation request I hear out on the road from staff. And so we would put guidelines in place that would ask, of course, that they have no holes or no frays, and they be worn with a professional dress shirt or school spirit shirt. And we would put these guidelines in front of our campus staff when they return. But every staff in the school district would get the benefit of this business casual dress code. We are looking at free childcare for students in K through 5 for our staff in order to have somewhere to have their kids go when they're in professional learning. So I'm working with Ms. Litchfield and Ms. Updike on what that would look like. We're considering roles where teleworking might be possible. We're looking at how can we better highlight our employee perks page. We have a lot of discounts for staff on that page in our community that they could benefit from. We would continue to use our child nutrition 240 funds, which are separate funds from the 199 bucket, to pay for lunch monitors. I heard from staff wondering if possibly the reduction of lunch monitors would help offset the deficit, and that would not be the case because that's a completely different bucket of money, so we'll continue to educate people on that. And then continuing to focus on wellness for our staff, Wellness Wednesdays, our employee assistance program, our professional learning in the calendar, and then we've got staff, Dr. Miller, along with Curtis Martin in HR, they're working on what it would look like to have staff do meetups and get-togethers throughout the school district, calling that Lewisville Live. So I wanted to close with some reminders of employee benefits that we have. First of all, with our employee assistance program, our employees get free at no charge through 2 different plans that we offer. They can have counseling appointments, they can get bereavement and grief support, they can get financial support, legal and estate support. We have vaccination clinics where we pay for flu shots. We have a $15,000 district paid employee life insurance policy. We have hardship leave. You all passed bereavement leave for staff. We have the ability for people to donate days to provide to staff when they're facing hard times as well. We have a mental wellness video library. We have one-on-one retirement planning meetings with TCG. We have TRS group retirement information sessions. Our benefits department, and I see Ms. Lutz over there, one of the great things that they've started doing is providing a baby shower to go over maternity leave and all of the things there, and have giveaways for staff, and I'm so appreciative for ideas like that that help bring our staff together. And they had the one LISD onesies, and it was awesome. And then rolling out on-site campus leave information sessions. So we know that as we started the conversation in January, we absolutely want our compensation to be competitive. You've worked hard to get it that way with the over $50 million of raises you've passed the last 4 years, but we also know that there's more to it than just compensation, and these are some of the things that we can help with that are non-compensation related but are benefits for our staff. So I'll close it up with that, and we'll communicate with staff about where things stand at this time, and happy to take any questions as well.
All right, seeing no questions, moving on. Next up is consider approval of compensation resolution for school year 2024-25. Mr. Rare.
As Dr. Rapp mentioned earlier, as a result of no legislative action to increase the basic allotment, no additional funding has been provided for salary increases for staff at this time. Included on page 356 of the board book is a one-time payment and or 1% midpoint raise to employees resolution that could provide a compensation increase for staff depending on the results of the district's financial audit for fiscal year 2024.
Would someone like to make a motion? Dr. Bonner?
I move that the board approve the compensation resolution for school year 2024-25 as recommended by administration.
Second, Ms. Taylor. Any discussion? Well, I will say, in all my time on the board, this is the first time we've ever done this. But in all my time on the board, the legislature has come through. We have done our part. we have cut. We used our fund balance that we have had in past years to help with the raises that we gave staff. I won't lie, I was counting on the legislature, and perhaps that was a foolish errand on my part. But we've done what we can, and I wish it could be more. There are districts that are in better positions than we are with their fund balance. There are districts that are also betting on the legislature next year to come through with the deficits that they have passed. I hope that the legislature comes through. I hope that comes through for us. I hope it comes through for them so that they don't find themselves in the position that we find ourselves in today. Might be a broken record, but I will say it again. The money is there. It sits in Austin. It does not sit in the classrooms where it belongs. So, with that, I will take a vote. Passes 7-0.